Hello, Bidemi, welcome. Nice to see you. Good evening, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here from Kyiv, Ukraine. Nice to have all of you. Anojo, blessings. Ngoya Charis, Rochelle White, Fumi Okerayi. Ngoya, I think. Joy Akanono, Omonika Ikeade, Pearl David. Thank you. Calling me Daddy, right? Hello, Daddy. Ireti Ojekoa, blessing. Kennedy Festus, Joy Akanono, Joseph Ubam, Anne-Marie, Obi Ojimadu, good evening. Sunday Aware, good evening. Ayodeji Solomon, evening. Gladys Nshang, Alice Obaze, Elizabeth Ali, Bosse Fayajola. Thank you, Elizabeth. Love you too. Glory by Bumi Oluwatose, Nkiro Chimadu, Lamont Banks. Well, as you are coming in, could you please go and share the link? Fina Silva, Santisteban, welcome. Okay, let's go and press the share button. Let's go press the share button, and so that we could start on time. Let's share the button today. We're having testimonies. So we're going to hear the story of a young, beautiful lady here who calls herself the least of the body of Christ. That's what she called herself. So that is why I call this topic of today, what can can ordinary member do? What can an ordinary member do? So this is Anya. Anya is her name, or Anna. Anna, if you want Anna. How are you, Anna? Can you introduce yourself?
Yes.
Привет, Anya. Давай познакомимся.
Добрый вечер, дорогие друзья.
Good evening, everyone.
Дорогие братья, сестры.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Anya is greeting you.
Меня зовут Аня.
My name is Anna.
Мне 34 года.
I'm 34.
Я член Церкви Посольства Божьего в городе Ирпень.
I'm a member of the Embassy of God Church in this city, little suburb of Kyiv, Ukraine, here called Irpin.
Я сегодня действительно благословлена и счастлива поделиться своим свидетельством с вами.
It's my privilege to be able to share my story with you.
Благодарю Бога своего, благодарю также вас, пастор Сандей.
I'm so grateful to God for my salvation, grateful to our senior pastor, Pastor Sunday.
И сегодня поймала себя на мысли, что уже множество имен, которые пастор называл и приветствовал, мне уже знакомы, и как-то возникло даже чувство какого-то родства с вами. Уже не первый раз заочно присутствуя на эфире.
Some of the names of the people that are here who are watching Pastor Sunday have come to the platform to see you, so it's like I know some of you already.
Поэтому для меня сегодня я чувствую ваше присутствие, вашу поддержку. И мое послание вам сегодня будет звучать так. Роль самого слабого в Царстве Божьем.
I see myself as the least in the kingdom of God. So what can the least member, the weakest member of Christ do? What can you do if you count yourself as nothing? You are just an ordinary member of a church. You think you are nothing. What can you do?
Почему самого слабого? Почему именно эта тема? Потому что сегодня очень многие люди узнают себя или в настоящем времени или в прошлом времени, которые не знали, с чего начать, или до сих пор не знают, с чего начать, будучи простым членом церкви, у которых нет особого статуса социального, у которых нет денег, у которых нет специального образования.
The ordinary members of people, the least in the body of Christ, to me, are people who just think they are nothing, who are not leaders in the church, people who don't have any significance or who think that they have very poor background, who don't have any ministry or they don't have any money or they don't have any importance or significance. People who just think they are ordinary people like myself.
Очень часто мы видим успешных людей, пастырей, и оттуда с позиции самого слабого кажется, если бы я был пастырем, если бы я был на его месте, конечно, я бы что-то сделал для Христа, но поскольку я там, где я есть, что я могу? Что я вообще могу один, и как я могу послужить Господу, не имея вообще ничего?
Especially when you are a member of a large church, like here in the Embassy of God, where you might think that you are just one of the thousands. You might think that you are insignificant, that you are nobody. Because there are so many people who are successful here in this church. There are so many people who are doing great things, who are, popular, who are well-to-do, who are famous, who are ministers. So you might be you might be tempted to think that you are nobody and that nothing good could ever happen to you.
Очень часто именно факторы останавливают верующих, не дают им возможности не то, что сделать что-то для Христа и для людей, а вообще оно позволяет им только бороться за свое спасение и каждый день надеяться на то, что они все-таки попадут на небо.
But this thought that you are nobody, sometimes it's the most dangerous that you could have because they stop you. They stop you from aspiring. They stop you from moving forward. They stop you from becoming everything that God wants you to become. And because you are comparing yourself with other people, and then you lower your dream, you lower your expectation. You begin to say, oh, maybe the only thing I can do is just to come to church. It's good that I come to church. At least I come to church, I pay my tithe and offering, and I'm going to heaven. And that is the greatest mistake that we could make, just to be satisfied with your status quo and with the status of being nobody, just trying to go to heaven. And that is a big mistake.
Поэтому я сначала, конечно, расскажу вам ту ситуацию, в которой я была до церкви и была до Бога, чтобы вы могли где-то в чем-то, может быть, узнать себя. Говоря о том, что самый слабый или никто, это в смысле никто. Это значит буквально никто. Потому что до прихода в церковь я была просто частью биомассы, я была винтиком в системе этого мира и нашей страны, я была просто ходящим индивидом на двух ногах.
That is the reason I'm talking to you about this is because that is who I used to be. Especially, I was just an ordinary nobody before I came to church. In every country, people just think they are people. The most important thing, they just know their names. My name is Anna, or another person's name is something else. But we're just people, just walking on two, it's just like body walking on two legs, and you're trying to survive. So the only preoccupation people have in the world is just to try to survive. Just walking with their 2 feet on the ground and, walk about, sleep, eat, and go and try to look for what to do. You are just a nobody. And that is the world system. The world system wants to keep all of us as nobody. And the world system wants to make us to be just like ordinary tools, instrument that is just being used in the companies, in the factories, in the businesses, just to do somebody's assignment, just to do what we are told to do, just to survive and just to move about, get some money to survive and salary to live. And we're really nobody. And that is who I used to be in this system. Just a biomasses, a flesh walking about with no purpose, with no agenda, with no destination. And that was the state where I was just a girl, that could walk about with men, that could, just have fun and live our own life, but nothing really to even know about myself or the purpose of life. That is the way I was when I came to the church.
Первая сфера, о которой я буду говорить, это, конечно же, сфера семьи и отношений. У меня не было нормальных отношений с родителями, у меня не было нормальных отношений с мужчинами, конкретно даже с парнем, с которым я со временем начала встречаться. У меня до прихода к Богу и до того, как начала формироваться как личность, и уже появились дети, не было нормальной коммуникации уже с рожденными детьми. И также очень слабые и некачественные отношения были по отношению к окружающим. Собственно говоря, у меня вообще не было никакого дела.
The point I'm saying is that nobody is going to give your children any purpose in life. Nobody is going to give your children any direction in life if you don't help them from the family. So I want to share my story with you because just for you to know that many millions of people are growing up like I grew up. I grew up in a normal family, but my family people, my parents never told me that I was somebody, that I was sent here for a purpose. I was never told that there is a reason why God created me and that there is a goal and there is a mission in the life of everybody that comes to the earth. My parents never told me this. And of course, the school never tell you that. School system is just for you to get education to be able to service and work as a, to service the system of this world, just to serve the system of this world. And then if the school system, they are not even interested in you becoming who God wants you to be or who you are created for. So the school system and educational system is not there to help you to discover who you are or who you are created for. So who is left to help you? Just your home, for your family, your loved ones, your parents. So if your parents also don't know that you have a purpose and they don't tell you about your purpose, you just know that you are here on the earth, you are created, and you just run about, you run to school, you come back, you dress, you undress, so you just begin to mess up your life. So that is how my life was going. I began to date because I discovered that men were having interest in me. So I started dating boys, and so I had bad relationship with my parents. I look outside to look for that purpose of my being. So in an attempt to find out who I was, you try everything. You try, relationship with boys, with men, and also I was discovered that I was having bad relationship with all of them. They were just using me. That was not the purpose of my life. So why am I here? I eventually married one of the boys because I thought that could be the reason why everybody is marrying. Maybe that is the reason why we are born, where we are sent here. But I still did not have joy and fulfillment even in marriage.
Я хочу сознательно говорить о своих ошибках, чтобы больше их не повторять в своей жизни, чтобы для кого-то это стало также помощью в их жизни. И первое, это, конечно, ошибка непослушания своей маме. Конечно, мама многого в жизни не знала, но все-таки она пыталась мне давать правильные, дельные советы. Первый совет, как мама дочери, она говорила: тебе нужно учиться, тебе нужно попытаться обустроить свою жизнь, научиться себя обеспечивать. Первое, что должна научиться каждая уважающая себя девушка. И в этом плане я уже была непослушным ребенком.
А в чем непослушным?
Непослушная я была в том, что сразу я подумала, что мама просто, может быть, не понимает мои внутренние потребности, может быть, она...
А что ты делала в это время, вместо того, чтобы обеспечивать себя?
Вместо того, чтобы...
То есть, что мама говорила, а что ты делала? Вот надо противостоять.
Я все делала неправильно. Я изначально пошла гулять с подружками, вместо того, чтобы учиться в учении.
She's saying that I want to tell you my mistakes so that you will know that bad people or people who become wayward in life or who become failures in life don't just start from nothing. First of all, like I said, it started from me not knowing what I was born for. We are all giving birth to children. All of us are giving birth to children. Now I have my own children, and you people who are watching this program, you have your own children as well. And you are always thinking that your children will be good. That's the same hope my parents, my mother had, and my parents had, and me too, I'm having, that my children will be good. But these things are not automatic. Your children don't just become good automatically. And since I did not have my direction, I did not know the purpose for which, I came to the world. Even though my mother, like every other parent, were telling to give me direction, and my mother was always saying, okay, you need to study very well, you need to be a good student. I didn't see the reason, because being a good student or studying very well has to be in a direction, has to be connected to a purpose or to a goal. There was no goal why I should study very well. There was no purpose for me to be a good student. There must be a goal for everything. There must be a reason for everything. So since I did not see the reason, I did not see the purpose, I saw other options. I saw my age mates, girls like me, going about with boys and going about to have friends and all that. So I went, instead of studying well, I was doing fun. I was getting fun and getting pleasure with my friends.
Я почему-то думала, что не существует общих формул для достижения успеха и счастья. Что вот я одна такая, и я смогу свое счастье найти как раз во время провождения с подругами, с друзьями, выпивая, ходя в бары. Просто буду веселиться, и там найду свое счастье. Так вот продолжалось где-то 3,5 года. И со временем я поняла, что, наверное, счастье не здесь, поэтому надо его искать в другом месте. Почему-то я решила, что счастье находится в создании своей личной семьи. Когда у меня появится муж, когда я рожу детей, вот тогда я точно буду счастлива.
So, and also my mother always tell me that you need to study very well, you need to be a good student, and then so that you get a good job. and that was not compelling to me. That was not attractive to me. Study very well and then go and get a good job. Is that all life is about? Is that what a reason why I should have to? I wanted fun. I wanted to be happy. I wanted pleasure. And I was having more pleasure with my girlfriends and my friends, going to discotheque, going to the bar, going to pubs, going to nightclubs, and just going to have fun. That was giving me more than just sitting down studying. And the reason for me studying was just to be able to go and work again and just going back to work like my parents. That's not attractive to me. That is not something for which I want to study. So this is why I'm saying, if you are parents, you have your children, make sure that you begin to tell them about their purpose in life. If you are parents, maybe you need to pray before you even give birth to the children, or while your children are 6 months, that God will reveal to you the calling of your children, so that you'll be able to give them direction, so that they will begin to study purposely in a particular direction, knowing that who they are supposed to become. So in my case, I was thinking, okay, since fun is all about opposite sex and everything, and opposite male and female, I was just, involved in that. But after being in discotheque for so many years, and I find out that I was just having fun, but no settlement, no life. So I discovered that, okay, then I must marry. So I was thinking that if I marry, because everybody is marrying, maybe that's where the real purpose of life is. Marry, to have children, to have your own husband, have your own children, your own family. Yeah, I think if I have that, then I got the purpose of living. And that's what many people think, because they only see what other people are doing around them. Because the parents who gave birth to me never told me that I was sent here by God for a purpose. They never revealed to me that everybody has an individual purpose on earth. I never knew that. So I was looking for my own happiness. I was looking for my own joy in my own way. And I was looking for it the way the world around. So for everyone that is here, the greatest thing you have to do in life is not to sleep around. It's not to be able to marry and give birth to children. The most important thing you could do before you give birth to those children, make sure you find out the purpose of God for their lives. When they are still small, help them to discover the purpose of God for their lives, so that they will live a purposeful life that has concrete direction, that is targeting and directed, so that they are not wasting their lives looking and wasting their life doing all the wrong things just to find out who they are.
Таким образом, я очень быстро осуществила свой план, намеченный план действий. Почему? Потому что любой маломальски симпатичной девушке все-таки несложно выйти замуж в наше время, как и в прошлые времена. Люди женились, выходили замуж. И, соответственно, я так и сделала. Нашелся парень, но это уже тоже своеобразная история. Почему? Потому что сегодня мы знаем, люди притягивают в свою жизнь тех людей и те обстоятельства, какими они являются и сами. Будучи неудачницей, я притянула в жизнь такого же мужчину, если сказать правильно, пацана, как говорит наш пастор сегодня. Почему пацана? Потому что в 28 лет он тоже был полным неудачником. Мне был 21, ему было 28. Он не умел достойным способом зарабатывать деньги. У него не было образования, у него не было своего личного жилья, у него не было планов на будущее, у него не было вообще чего предложить, в принципе, мне. И мы все-таки в этом всем наивно думали, что сможем быть счастливыми, имея просто между собой, как нам тогда казалось, любовь.
The reason I'm saying this is because of my mistake. You learn from my lesson and make sure that you give your children and people around you direction as well. Now, what happened later on, because in the society, in some societies, like in our society here in Ukraine, people always talk about settling down. You have to settle down. When you have a certain age, you have to settle down. Settle down, by the word settle down, people are talking about get a husband or a wife, and that if you settle down, you get a husband and wife, it's like automatically, everything will come. You will become responsible, you will become good, everything will come, you'll be blessed, you have children, you'll be happy. So I never knew that it's a myth. Settle down doesn't bring anything to your life. Settle down is just, a word people use, but doesn't give you anything. So what in my own situation, I decided to settle down. And how do I settle down? I settled down to one of the boys that I was hanging out with. And the boys, the best of them that I could get, it was just like me. Because I didn't have any content inside me. I didn't have any vision. I didn't have any direction. I didn't have any vision. I didn't have any direction. I didn't have any purpose. So I got a boy just like me. A boy without vision, without purpose, without aim, without goal, just empty like me. I was empty. I only had the body, and because I was 21 years old, I have the body, and he also liked the body. I also wanted a man. He had something between his legs, and I thought, he's a man. I wanted one. I'm a woman. He liked me, and we could, do something and settle down and have a family and have good life. But it is now that Pastor has taught us that you don't just settle down with anybody without preparation. To settle down, you have to settle yourself first. You've got to settle down inside yourself first. As a woman, you've got to settle down in yourself. You've got to get good qualities in you. You've got to make yourself become a personality. You've got to make yourself become an attractive person inside. You've got to have some skills, have a profession, have values, have something that you are bringing to the marriage. You have to have something that you are bringing to add to the marriage. You have to be prepared for marriage. You have to have given life to yourself first before you try to go and give life to other people. I never knew that. And also the man also is not like what Pastor has taught us now. Now I know that you don't just marry a man because he wears trousers and he wears suits. That I didn't know that. I just thought if he's tall and handsome, that is the man. But I never knew that he needed to have a car, he needed to have a house, he needed to have a job, he needed to have good income. I never looked at that because I thought the most important thing, this is what I was hearing in the street, in the discotheque, where I was going to, in the clubs with the girls, that the most important thing is to love each other. If you just love each other, nothing else matters. I didn't know that is just an illusion and a deception. I discovered that very fast, a few weeks after into the marriage, that you don't marry somebody who is nobody. You don't marry emptiness. If you are empty and you are marrying emptiness, you have catastrophe. So, and you have conflict, fights, and all kind of quarrels. And that is what I got because I never had, a goal. And I married somebody who didn't have a goal also. Our life was turned to hell. So instead of settling down and be happy, we were always fighting and having crisis.
Сегодня мне уже легко об этом говорить, я сегодня могу над этим смеяться, но, оборачиваясь назад, я просто не понимаю, как можно было жить вот такой примитивной жизнью, в принципе, жизнью животного. На тот момент я даже не осознавала всего ужаса того бедственного положения, в котором мы были. И, конечно, первые результаты вот такой поверхностности, они не заставили себя ждать сразу же после того, как мы начали жить вместе. Первые кризисы начались на ровном месте. Нехватка денег для пропитания семьи, оплаты счетов. Родился ребенок, которого тоже надо было кормить, с которым надо было проводить много времени, которому надо было уделять специальное внимание, не просто носить его на руках, не просто кормить его и ложить спать, но детям надо уделять правильное внимание, их надо воспитывать. Понятие воспитания вообще.
So I only had a dream that I see people who settle down, and I see that people have husband and wife and they look happy, but I didn't know they only look happy. I never knew what was happening in every family. I knew that my family didn't have any happiness. My parents didn't have happiness. My relatives didn't have happiness. But I thought that's because they didn't love one another. But here we are, we love each other. So now that we have love each other, everything will just come. But you know the story. When we married, the very first week, just 1 week living together, we already ran into trouble. And our problem started because there was no money. After the wedding, we spent all the money for the wedding. And after the wedding, 1 week after the money was finished, no money to pay for the rent, no money to pay for the bills, no money to take care of all the things that we need. And I had to work, he had to work. We were saying, okay. So instead of in our attempt to find more money and everything, the love disappeared. Because when fight comes and the conflict comes, no more love, no more emotion. So everything I was dreaming that we settle down, everything will be good, is not good. So now I'm thinking, with knowing all the teachings that Pastor has given us, how a man must prepare for marriage, how a woman must prepare for marriage. We did everything the opposite. We did everything wrong. We didn't even know you have to prepare for marriage. In this country, nobody tells about preparing for marriage. Nobody tells that you have to go to school. In our church here now, we now know before you marry, you must go to school. There is a school in our church for preparation for marriage. So a man has to go to that school, has to finish it. The woman has to go to the school of preparation for marriage, has to finish it. So you are taught everything before you go and form a family. But where I was coming from, we even never heard about that. And in that school of preparation to marriage, in this church here, they also teach you how to become prepared to be a woman, to be a mother, to be a wife, to give birth, to be pregnant, to give birth, and how the man should get ready for pregnancy, how the woman should get ready for pregnancy, how everything should be in order, how you should provide for the family, how you should make sure that everything is in order. This is what Pastor Sunday has taught in this church. And now I'm just thinking and looking back, you are just like animals. We are just like animals, just living by instinct. No thinking, no planning ahead, just living by like animals. So at the end of the day, because we never planned anything, I got pregnant. And getting pregnant gave birth to a child. I never even knew you could get ready for pregnancy. I never knew you have to get educated before you get pregnant. I never knew that you could, you should even get ready and get educated to be a mother. I was not educated to be a mother. I never got taught to be a mother. So I just discovered that I have a baby in my hand. And I thought the only thing you do for a baby is just to feed it. So just give food to that baby. To just give food to that baby. So if the baby is small, you give the breast to the baby. If the baby is bigger, you make some food, what you can get, and give them to eat. That's all. I didn't know that just giving food only takes care of the body. It doesn't take care of the baby to become a human being. Just like my parents also, the only thing they did was to go to work and give us food to eat. And as long as you are eating, it's okay.
Таким образом, моя жизнь вообще катилась под откос. На фоне этого всего муж просто превратился в какого-то незнакомого мне вообще мужчину. Он начал очень сильно выпивать и конкретно стал алкоголиком. Он, в принципе, не выходил из запоя. Постоянно на фоне такого состояния начал выгонять меня из дома, во всем меня обвинять. Говорил, что ему не повезло в жизни, потому что он встретил меня. Вся любовь развеялась как дым. У меня начались резкие проблемы со здоровьем, начало болеть сердце, начались проблемы с сосудами, прыгало давление. Я чувствовала себя в 25 или в 24 года полностью разрушенной. Будучи молодой женщиной, я себя чувствовала старухой.
So, of course, my husband also never got prepared for the baby. He never knew that you have to be prepared to be a family man as well. He was not ready. He just wanted to enjoy his life. And here we got pregnant, we're having a baby. He was so, of course, he was not ready for a woman living with him, a woman who is getting pregnant, who is having mood swings, who is having different moods, different feelings, sick sometimes not very happy, is changing. So what was the answer of my husband? The answer of my husband was to just go and look for alcohol. So my husband was feeling so much pressure from this family, and with this woman. So she started saying that this woman, you brought problem to my life. I used to live my life before just by myself. And now that I met you, I married you, now you make my life become difficult. Now you have a baby also growing. What should I do with you now? So he started kicking me out of the house and he drink all the time so that he would never feel the problems. He was saying that I was the cause of his problem. They should get rid of me. I should go back with my baby away. And I was so full of stress and difficulty. I didn't know what to do with the husband or with the baby. I didn't know what to throw the baby away or with the husband away. The husband is throwing me away. Not to do anything. I didn't know what to do with my life. Things were so bad. I was 24 years old, 3 years only in the marriage. And I was feeling as if I was a 50-year-old woman or 60-year-old woman. I was so old, sick. I was so depressed. I didn't know what to do with my life or where to throw my life to. That was at the point before I came to church.
И получается, что у меня было всего два выхода. Первый — это вот так вот дальше влачить это жалкое существование, либо спиваться там самой. И второй, как мне тогда казался выход, это собрать свои вещи, уйти к своей маме, повесить всю ответственность на нее, чтобы она мне помогала воспитывать ребенка и, в принципе, стать мужа-ненавистницей. Почему? Потому что собираться второй, в третий, в пятый раз замуж что-то мне не хотелось. И я так и сделала. Я собрала вещи, пришла к маме и говорю: здравствуйте, мама, мне очень тяжело, и я, наверное, буду жить с вами. Помогите мне воспитывать моего ребенка, помогите мне обеспечить мои элементарные нужды. И мама, послушав всю эту историю, сказала мне следующее: ты знаешь, дочь, я тебе не желала такой жизни, и, соответственно, ходить туда-сюда с вещами ты не будешь. Не надо удивлять людей. Не надо загонять себя еще дальше в проблему, тебе надо определиться. Либо ты живешь с нами окончательно, бесповоротно, и мы как-то будем выходить из ситуации, либо возвращайся к своему мужу и борись за свое счастье.
So, he was chasing me away from the house, and I didn't have any option. And I was thinking, what can I do now? Well, I took my baby, and I took all my stuff, and I decided to go back to my parents. So in my mind, I was thinking, but my parents, they used to take care of me. Before I married, they know how to deal with this life, to resolve problem of life. So they should be able to take care of my problem because they and my parents, they did it before. Now, the only thing is I came with one more child. So they know they will fix it. They will take care of us because I didn't know how to live this life. I didn't know how to live this life. Let me just go back home and let my mother and my parents be taking care of me like they did before. I was thinking I was going to go to marry, and I thought they were living a bad life, and I thought they were bad. And I thought they were not good to me as they were supposed to be before. I thought that they were bad parents. Now, I discovered that only life with them is better than the life that I want to build for myself. I discovered that it's better to go back to them to live the way they were living before. I was living with them before than for me to start my own life again because I didn't know how to live that life anymore. But my mother sat me down and my mother said, you know what? I don't want you to live in my house with your baby and be going up to your husband and coming back and you live 1 month there, 1 month there. I don't want that. You have to decide. You have to decide. If you leave him, you leave him forever. If you don't want to live him forever, then you go back there forever. Don't ever come back. It would not allow you to be going up and down from our house to your husband's house.
И я поняла, что пора взрослеть. Я не знала еще как, но я поняла, что пора взрослеть. Я не хотела воспитывать ребенка без мужа, я не хотела уже на тот момент создавать дополнительных проблем родителям, и вернулась домой. Там меня домой к мужу, там меня ждало все то же самое. Он все так же пил, и я просто начала от безвыходности вопить, кричать в Богу: «Боже, помоги мне! Если не Ты, то никто мне уже не поможет. Если Ты хочешь, чтобы я просто погибла в этом отчаянии, пускай так и будет. Если Ты хочешь дать мне жизнь и дать мне счастье, если Ты меня слышишь, я умоляю Тебя, приди, помоги мне, потому что больше так я не могу. Все в Твоих руках». И Бог меня услышал. Бог начал посылать на путь нам людей, которые начали говорить о том, что нам нужно прийти в церковь. Хоть мы его и не слышали, мы были глухими к Евангелию. Первую благую весть услышала мать моего мужа, моя свекровь. И она пошла в церковь и начала за нас молиться.
So I stayed and I was saying, okay, I don't want to go back to this husband because if I go back to him, he will keep on drinking, beating me and all that. So I said, okay, I will just stay here. But I began to say, is this the whole reason for life? If this is all what life is about, it's not worth living this kind of life. So I was saying, should I die? Should I kill myself? Commit suicide? And I said, if you are there, please do something. But, we've always been having people from churches talk to us about God and all that, but we didn't hear. Because, most people are just so consumed by their own lives. They are carried away they want to survive in their own strength. They want to live their own life. And we think that is religion. We don't know that is the reality of God that could really help you. So, but, God answered our prayer. The mother of my husband was the first person to get saved in this church. So she began to pray for us and to, evangelize us.
И первое чудо, которое Бог совершил в нашей жизни, это еще до прихода в церковь. Он сверхъестественным образом, без помощи реабилитационных центров, по молитве людей освободил моего мужа от алкоголя. У него просто появился страх Божий и отвращение к выпивке.
Его мама молилась.
Да, год его мама молилась, и целый год вот так вот Бог с нами работал. И, в принципе, мы уже более или менее стали похожи на какую-то среднестатистически нормальную семью. Муж ходил на работу, он не пил, я начала ходить убирать дома, то есть стала уборщицей, начала как-то тоже зарабатывать деньги, как умела, без образования. И мало-мальски мы стали среднестатистической семьей, которая вечера проводит у телевизора, но у них нет будущего, у них нет ощущения полноты жизни, у них нет ощущения смысла, для чего жить, но они понимают, что как-то жить надо.
So, like I said, the mother of my husband came to church, started praying for us, and then she prayed so much for my husband, for the son, that my husband stopped drinking. A miracle happened. By our prayers, my husband stopped drinking, so we started living together again. So I went to him, we started living together again. We stopped drinking. No more violence, no more drinking. So we were looking from outside like a normal family now. So, and remember my mother told me to go and study very well, to go and get a job. I refused to study. I was doing night club and all that. And so I don't have any profession. I don't have any degree. So I was saying, now the baby is grown up a little bit and we need to find money from somewhere. So my husband started to go to work. So he's just going to work like everybody, because that's what we see other families do. The husband go to work, the wife go to work. You just go to work and eat, and at least you are working, no fight. So that is already good. But as we are living like that, just going to work, you go to work, I go to work. Because I didn't have any degree, I went to find a work as a cleaner. So I clean people's house and all that. It's because I didn't study. You remember I didn't study? But when we come back from work, we just sit down on television. We don't drink anymore, so life is boring. So we just have television. So two of us, we sit down and watch television and go to sleep and wake up in the morning and go to work and come back and watch television. No life. So, but it was like empty. So the only thing about life is we're not fighting, we're not drinking, we'll go to work, come back and sit and look at the television and sleep and go to work. So it was even more miserable, because when you are drinking, at least you forget. It doesn't look too long because it becomes short because of alcohol, and you drink, you just wake up, you just go over. But now when you don't drink, everything looks long. Long life without anything. So
Примерно вот так вот выглядела наша счастливая среднестатистическая жизнь. Вот я с ребенком.
Look, this is the way I used to look those days. Can you believe it? Like a bomb, and like a street bomb, like somebody that just lost. I had a baby. Look at me with my baby in my hand in a room, just totally intimidated, just totally broken, like an old woman, ugly, not happy. No life. This is me. Can you believe it? This is me. And I was younger, like 10 years younger that time. And, everything was just like hell. Living in hell while on earth.
Вот мы ходим просто по дням рождения, просто веселимся, ходим по дням рождения, танцуем, и нам кажется, что, может, как-то так и проживем всю жизнь. Иногда ходим в гости на дискотеки.
Here, you see us in a party. Sometimes we have parties with friends. So I and my husband, I'm sitting on the lap of my husband. People think we had life, but we don't even have any life. We're just going to spend time in some parties and go back. But everybody will be looking at, their husband and wife, they're happy, but I'm looking horrible. Look at me. That is me there in that photograph. Horrible. And no life.
Таким образом, мы уже просто начали, после вот этого всего, что мы попробовали проводить эксперименты со своей жизнью, мы поняли, что это не есть жизнь, это вообще не жизнь. И Бог нас начал звать к себе. Мы начали ощущать внутренним своим чутьем, что есть какая-то большая жизнь, настоящая жизнь. И когда свекровь нас пригласила в церковь, мы все-таки сдались, почувствовали, что надо пойти покаяться, и таким образом мы начали быть членами Ирпенской церкви.
So when all this frustration, all this frustration and depression was so much that we didn't know how to find life anymore. We were dying in our own life. We were dying in the life that we had, in the life of our body. We were dying. As we were still alive, but we were dying. And so we just say, this woman that has been praying for us to go with her to church, let's try that church and see maybe something could be different in our lives. That is why we came to one of the Embassy of God churches.
Что меня очень сильно удивило в церкви, это, конечно, моя пастор Юлия. Она не была похожа на всех тех чопорных священников, серьезных, недоступных, каких-то слишком высокомерных, которым нельзя было задать простых житейских вопросов. Меня это очень сильно подкупило внутренне. Я привязалась к этой женщине, я поняла, что в ней есть особая мудрость, присущая не по годам. Пастор всего на 2 года старше меня. То есть она была тоже молодой, но в ней была какая-то особенная мудрость. И я задавала себе вопрос, почему она другая? Почему она не такая, как пасторы других церквей? Со временем, конечно, я поняла, она подражала своему духовному отцу, пастору Сандею. Она была настолько похожа на своего духовного отца, что это полностью начало отражаться в ее жизни, как в жизни служителя.
Of course, when I came to, what surprised me most was that this was not the kind of church I expected to see, because I was used to the Orthodox church and the normal church where you have the big bishop with the long dress and some religious things happening, and they look so out of this world. But here I saw a beautiful lady like myself, young, just 2 years older than me. My pastor, the pastor of our church, is a woman. Is a lady, young woman, just 2 years older than me. But she was so full of wisdom. She was different, talking differently, full of life. I said, I just fell in love with that lady, and I began to come to that church. This was before I met Pastor Sunday. I never knew that now I knew who she was, because she was discipled by Pastor Sunday. So she was just a replica of Pastor Sunday. But that was the first time I saw somebody carrying life.
Мы начали уже чувствовать первые признаки жизни. Мы ощутили мир, спасение, радость в Духе Святом. И как каждый родитель любит приводить своих деток к своим родителям, пастор Юля в один прекрасный день привела нас лично познакомить со своим духовным отцом. Так как у нас бывает, что приходят внуки к своим дедушкам и бабушкам, так пастор Юля нас привела к своему духовному отцу познакомиться лично. И я сегодня точно знаю, бывают судьбоносные встречи, бывают такие встречи, которые переворачивают абсолютно всю жизнь, и Бог по своей великой милости и благодати дал нам возможность вкусить этой жизни. Когда впервые мы пришли на встречу с пастором, я просто была настолько удивлена и впечатлена, что человек Божий, апостол с мировым призванием, пастор многотысячной, возможно, даже уже миллионной на тот момент церкви, он просто искренне вышел в своем доме к дверям и каждому из нас просто пожал руку. Вроде бы он был обычным человеком, пригласил нас в дом и спросил, как ваши дела, чем я могу вам помочь?
So one day, our pastor, just like any parent would do, decided to take us to the leaders, to our parents, to our senior pastor. And it's like we are going to our grandparents. And so we came to see pastor for the first time, and I couldn't believe it, because everybody knew about Pastor Sunday. We've been hearing of him. The whole country is talking about him. It's like he's supposed to be some giant, 2 meters tall, and like higher, bigger than life, and higher than life. But when we came to his house, it was so simple. He came out by himself, met us, shook our hands, hugged us. We couldn't believe it, that this man is just behaving like an ordinary man like this. And he's so big, he's so mighty, he's so famous. Pastor Sunday probably has over 1 million people, maybe millions of people following him all over the world. And, such a person, such a great man, was so simple, made us to just feel so important, welcome all of us, and ministered to us, and was treating us as if we were more important than he himself.
И рядом с ним, я считаю, что ощущение, которое человек может пережить на этой земле, чувствуя присутствие рядом с такими апостолами, как в свое время был апостол Петр, апостол Павел, должен ощутить каждый нормальный верующий человек. Это ощущение безопасности, ощущение мира, ощущение уверенности, сверхъестественной уверенности в том, что именно этот человек поможет тебе войти в твою судьбу, в твоем призвании, что ты точно дойдешь до своей цели однажды. И я...
If you have never met Pastor Sunday before, one certain feeling that you are going to have when you meet him is you will feel so much acceptance, and you will feel so much peace and so much protection. When you meet Pastor Sunday, it's like you know you are safe. It's like you know you are protected. It's like you know nothing can go wrong. When you meet him, you just have so many feelings, as if you are just so sure that with this man, I will become anything I can become. There is nothing that I cannot achieve. There is nothing I cannot become. There is nothing I cannot do if I will hang out with this man. This man will lead me to the way, to the right way. Give me, help me to attain my goal and my mission in life. And that's the kind of feeling that I was so sure that now my life will become what it's supposed to be, just by meeting one man one day.
Первое, что я сделала, это почувствовала внутреннюю потребность служить такому человеку, сделать хоть что-нибудь полезное для него, поскольку ничего не могла делать такого, как бы сказать, чего-то такого великого. Я просто пришла в его дом и начала служить у него на кухне и просто наблюдать за его жизнью. Я начала смотреть, чем живет этот человек, как он поступает, как он говорит, какие у него жизненные цели, чем он вообще отличается от других людей. И так на протяжении 2 лет я просто наполнялась Божьей жизнью. Я проходила восстановительный процесс от душевных внутренних ран. Я исцелялась физически. Мне приходило полное восстановление от всяческих страхов, от комплексов. Бог меня лечил через пастора.
So what I discovered that first time was that the emptiness that I had inside, even though I was already a Christian going to church, I was already a leader in my own church, I was already okay. But when I met Pastor Sunday, I felt that his presence itself and his wisdom and words coming from him were filling me up. It was like they were filling my voidness and emptiness inside of me. So I got smart. I went to his kitchen and I asked them that, can I be coming here to clean? Or do you have any help that you want me to do for you? So they said, yes, I could be coming. So I will volunteer once a week to clean the kitchen and to help the people, staff who are working here. And just to be able to, my own idea was to be able to look at this man more, to be able to learn more from him from close distance, and to be able to hear, because each time I hear what he's saying, even though he would not see me, and people I would just be working, but I will be hearing him or seeing what he's doing, I will be getting filled up inside. His life was filling my life. His wisdom was filling my life, but also it was healing me. So all those hurt and all those wasted life that I had, when I was going to the nightclubs and pubs and when I was wasting my life, all the disappointments, all the brokenheartedness, all the pain from my husband, from the men, from everybody, all of them started getting healed. I started getting cured and healed, and my life started getting to come together inside. I started getting filled inside, filled with joys, filled with purpose. I started discovering that I have energy to do anything I want, to become anything I want to become. I started feeling that all the emptiness in my life was being filled.
Следующим моим шагом было желание обучаться у такого человека, научиться стать таким, как он. И первое, что я сделала, это захотела пойти в его домашнюю группу. Я успела попасть в один из предпоследних потоков, потому что на сегодняшний день уже не все, к сожалению, имеют такую возможность обучаться у пастора. Для меня это был такой вызов. Мне надо было подниматься, как Моисей, на огромную гору. Я не умела ничего, не умела отвечать на вопросы контрольных работ. Каждый вопрос вызывал у меня такую панику, такую внутреннюю боль. Надо было копаться в своем своем внутреннем человеке, надо было научиться вставать и отвечать на публику, давать ответы. Надо было просто выделять время для того, чтобы читать книги пастора. Надо было постоянно думать головой, чего я никогда раньше вообще не умела. И я решила для себя, твердо решила, что пути назад уже нету. Либо я приму вот эту жизнь и стану кем-то, и стану освободителем для таких же, как я сама, либо уже по-другому быть не может.
So after listening to Pastor so much and serving in his house, I heard the opportunity that Pastor was inviting anybody that wants to be discipled by him and be mentored by him. I decided I was going to take advantage. But for you to do that, you've got to give exams. So here, you don't just get to pastor anymore. Pastor does not go to teach or preach in the church like before. He just trains people who he says are serious, who he says that really want to change their lives. And before you could go join his team, you have to be ready. You have to give exams. And so it was so difficult for me to give those exams. I never used my brain before. I was just using my body. I never knew how to think or how to give exams. And you needed to read so many books, and I never read books. So I needed to start everything afresh. So the work that people would do for a week or 1 day or 2 days, it would take me 1 month to do. But I was pushing myself. I had to do everything. I paid all the price. And, but Pastor was teaching us to become individuals, personalities. So one of the things you needed to do is not just to give exams, but you have to learn how to speak. Before, I couldn't speak before anybody. I was always shy, timid. Now you see me, I'm talking. Now also, you've got to learn to stand on the stage and be, so I never did that before. Now you see me, I can do that. Before I couldn't be a leader. Now, because when you are taught by pastor, you must also learn to be a leader, and now I am one. And then you have to become a public figure that will become on television, and you will be national. You have to have national influence. And so it took me from nothing and began to teach me and give me skills and making me, just like building me up from nothing, building me brick by brick into different things that were never present in my life before. I was just a biomass, like I told you before, just like any human body, walking with their 2 legs in the street, just eating and sleeping and eating and sleeping and going to work. So that's what I was before. But now I am a human being. I'm full of content inside. My head is working. I can do things. I can lead other people. I can teach other people. This is just because I went through the process of training that pastor. He will make us to read 3 new books every month. He will make us to read, to give exams every month. He will make us to, do so many things every single week, every day. He taught us to become people that are respected and that respect ourselves.
Конечно же, в домашней группе пастор всегда учит, что нужно что-то делать. Если ты хотя бы что-то понял, начинай что-то делать. И у каждого великого человека, конечно же, есть план. У пастора Сандея всегда есть план. На тот момент он начал проект университета жизни. И я поняла, что если у меня своего плана нет, нужно поучаствовать в великом деле великого человека. И я начала принимать участие сразу в нескольких направлениях. Первое – это написание статей для университета жизни. Я обучилась писать статьи и начала помогать писать статьи для платформы университета жизни. Второй шаг – это был…
When you are with Pastor Sunday, you must learn to do something, especially when you are in his team. So there is no way. You are not allowed to be in his mentorship team if you are not going to do something, if you are not doing something. You must be doing something. Everything you are learning from him, you must put it into practice. If you don't put to practice what he's teaching you, he will chase you away from his mentorship team. So one of the things that I learned to do was I went to his training, one of his team, it's called University of Life team. I went there and they taught me how to, not just reason, but how to write articles. And I began to write articles.
Следующее.
Первое это статьи, да?
Да. Следующее, после прохождения женского ретрита, я поняла, что у меня появилось призвание. Я хотела служить женщинам, таким же, как я сама. И на основании книг пастыря Сандея я училась, как нужно жить правильно, сразу же внедряла эти принципы в своей личной семейной жизни, сразу же видела результаты этой жизни и начинала проводить, проводить встречи как спикер вебинаров.
Now, another thing that happened to me is that pastor, just like pastor is teaching people now on this platform, pastor is teaching people how to become men and how to be a worthy man. But pastor also has a whole series of teaching on how to become a woman and how to become a beautiful woman and a beautiful mother and a caring mother. So pastor has a teaching also for wives and women, how to become a good wife and a successful woman, a career woman, all kinds of teaching for women. So because I was nobody, I was just a woman in the physical body, but I didn't know how to be one. So I went to pastor to his training. He has a training for women, just women, only women. So I went to all the trainings with him and I discovered who I was. I discovered my power that, wow, so I'm a woman, so I have such power. I began to practice everything he taught us. I studied how to become a good wife. I became such a wonderful wife to my husband. My husband is praising me. We are living a wonderful life. My husband saw my example, came to church, gave his life, became a minister. All things began to change in my life. And then I also said, if this kind of change could happen in my life, I must teach other women who are empty, just like me, who only have body and only waking up and like biomass going out, just walking on two legs all over the earth. I must stop them and bring them to know the same things that pastor has taught me. So I started a club for women who are just like me, ordinary people going up, to giving birth to children and not knowing what life is about.
Я научилась проводить тренинги.
So I started organizing my coach and training, live training.
На сегодняшний день...
Can you see the magazine that we're releasing, that we produce for women?
Родилась программа.
You see that's my article as a psychologist and as a consultant, as a counselor.
Родилась программа для женщин. Две программы. Это «Моя жизнь шедевр» по восстановлению личности женщины для женщин любых возрастов, любого статуса. «Моя жизнь шедевр».
Then I started a training program, like a club for women. My life шедевр, это treasure, masterpiece. Okay, I started a program for women. How to turn my life into a masterpiece. So I started doing training and coaching programs for women, how to turn their lives from ordinary into a masterpiece.
Следующая программа, это была программа, как нужно готовиться к браку.
And then I started those are training programs. Then I have another training program, how to get ready for marriage for women.
Я начала действовать быстро. Денег нету, здания, помещения нету. Казалось бы, все должно меня остановить. Но Бог...
we've been taught very well that you don't need to wait for money, you don't need to wait for properties, you don't need to wait for everything to be okay. So I just started with what I had. I didn't wait for money, I didn't wait for property. I had the knowledge already, the wisdom.
И пастор всегда учил, что самые большие ограничения – это ограничения в нашем разуме. Пускай не останавливают нас вот эти вызовы. И Бог дал мне...
Pastor always taught us that none of us has any limitation in life, that you cannot be stopped. You can only be stopped by your own thinking. The only limitation you have in life is your own mind.
Бог дал мне мудрость, как открыть 6 женских клубов в нашем регионе.
Can you believe it? In a very short time, God gave me the wisdom to open 6 different clubs in my city.
Бог дал мне мудрость, и пастор помог открыть библиотеку для людей, которые страдают заболеваниями сердца.
So apart from 6 clubs for women, different 6 different clubs with 6 different problems, 6 different titles on the women. So we have these clubs, and apart from those clubs, I also started a club for women страдающие.
Страдающих заболеванием сердца, санаторий.
I also discovered that a lot of people have hypertension problem in this country and in the world also. Many people die from heart attack and heart diseases. So I decided to reach out to them. If people are dying, so many people are dying from heart diseases, and I decided to start a health club for people who have health challenges and heart disease.
Я поняла, что проблема женщин – это глобальная проблема, и потому стала членом политической партии, баллотировалась на выборах в городе.
I also discovered that even if I have all these clubs, and I have all this success with the women and all these trainings that I'm doing, if we don't change the lives of women generally in the country, nothing will change. So I joined a political party. And so I started to contest to the parliament of our city.
В это же время я не оставляла служение в церкви. Бог меня послал в служение прославления.
So on the basis of my outreaches, ministering for the women and all the trainings that I'm doing, I was able to have a political platform. But at the same time, I was, doing praise. I was also active in my local church.
Я служила в служении прославления, организовала хор и занималась, конечно, евангелизацией.
So I'm also involved in the local church, but also I have my own ministry outside of the local church.
Конечно, все в жизни начало приходить в божественный порядок.
So everything came to order in my life. I became a human being. I started feeling myself as a human being that is contributing to life, not just eating food and then going to sleep. I'm walking on my 2 legs to carry my biomasses. But I started contributing to life. I started feeling that I'm living life and that life is worth living. Life is beautiful, that you could give life to other people, make life interesting. And, there is a reason to live because life is coming out of you now to other people.
Я также начала заниматься бизнесом, все-таки думать и работать головой лучше, чем работать руками. Я начала заниматься красотой и здоровьем. В это время же муж также стал служителем, он стал проповедовать, он начал вести домашнюю группу для мужчин, он начал вести служение АБЦ, он приобрел автомобиль и также начал поднимать свой бизнес. Детки становятся послушными и получают уже также грамоты и отличия в школе.
So, of course, like I said, because I was involved in politics now and having all these clubs, and I have to finance everything myself. I have to finance my club. I have to finance my political career myself. So I discovered that I needed to do some business. So I started my business for women business, beauty, whatever stuff for the women. So I started my own business. And then apart from that, my husband, like I said, he became born again. He saw the examples, all the changes. He became a minister as well. And he started doing his own business as well. Got a car, got a house. Everything just started going on for us.
Соответственно, я бы хотела вам дать несколько тезисов, посланий, что я усвоила из общения с пастором, из домашних групп. Первое, это все великое начинается с малого. Ничто не рождается большим.
So if you don't mind, let me give you some of the principles that helped me. When I came as nothing, like I said, can anything come out from the least of this? I was the least. I was the least in the society. I was an outcast, the least in the society. But so the first principle, one of the principles that helped me, that I got from pastor, is that everything that you see big now started small. So everything big starts small. So don't ever be worried that you are small now. Everything starts from small. They will become big later on maybe, but they started small. So if you are small now, it's a good place to start.
Следующий принцип. Самые главные ресурсы – это великий Бог во мне, и я сама как личность.
The second thing that I got from Pastor Sunday and from his trainings is that I don't have to stop looking for resources. I don't have to stop because I don't have one resource or the other. I shouldn't have an excuse to stop. I shouldn't have an excuse not to be great. And that the only resource that I need is the Almighty God that is in me. The God that has everything. The God of all sufficiency is in me. There is no limitation for me not to become anything I want to become. I can become everything. There is nothing that can stop me. Anything I can dream of, I can become. Anything I want, I can become. I just need to decide to become them. And I just need to know that everything, my assurance and my confidence that I can do all things, make everything possible for me. Because there is nothing impossible to them that believe. So he is already in me. I have his mind. I have him in me. He is the greatest resource. And apart from God, I am the greatest resource. I need to develop myself. As the more I can develop myself, the bigger I make myself to be, the bigger I can become. If I want to become anything, I can become it. I just need to develop myself to that level and to that degree. So apart from me and God, I don't need anything. I have to start with money. I don't have to start with connection. I don't have to start with things. I just need to start with myself, changing myself, developing myself, expanding myself, and from myself and my relationship with God, everything else will come.
Следующий принцип – это самое полезное образование – это самообразование. И оно не должно никогда прекращаться.
Next thing I discover from Pastor Sunday is that the greatest education is not your degree. The greatest education is not your how many universities you finish. The greatest education is not the school you go to. I never went to any, like I just told you my story. But the greatest education, according to Pastor Sunday, is self-education. And this self-education must never cease, and it must never stop. It must be going on every day. Every day you must have a few hours that you are investing in your life. So self-education is the greatest education, and it never stops. It never ceases. And that is what has also helped me to become who I became.
Следующий. Для того, чтобы быть освободителем, надо почувствовать себя и осознать себя освободителем, что я есть ответ для этих людей.
Okay. The next principle I got from Pastor Sunday that really helped me to become who I became today is that everybody is sent here to this world to become a deliverer. You know, I told you before, I started my path just by being a cleaner and a sweeper and a cleaner in other people's house. But now, you know who I became. So how did that happen? By believing that God has sent you here not to become a slave. God has sent you here not to become an audience for other people. God has sent you here not to become just a follower. God has sent you here to be a deliverer to somebody. When God heard the cry of some people, that's why God decided to send you to the world. He gave back to you because some people were crying for deliverance. So I discover that I'm a deliverer as well. So I go to my own promised land, and the people that I'm supposed to deliver are the people I just told you about, the women who are just like me, so purposeless and no goal, who are totally like just biomasses. I am to deliver them. Number two, the people who are dying from heart attack, I am supposed to deliver them. So I look for the problem, I see people to deliver, I make myself into a deliverer.
Следующий принцип. Настоящее богатство – это наш личный жизненный опыт, как позитивный, так и негативный, потому что любую боль можно превратить в трамплин.
Next lesson I learned from Pastor Sunday is that turn every one of your life experience into your wealth. Turn your bad experiences into your riches, into your wealth. Turn your good experiences into your lessons, into your riches. So we have riches. All of us are already rich. All of us are already wealthy. You know, but sometimes we think that wealth and riches is only physical things that we have. But really, I've been taught now that I should just make sure I can just sit down and remember all the good experiences I had and all the bad experiences that I had. I turn every one of the bad experiences into my lesson. For example, because I had bad experiences going to a nightclub clubs and with men and everything. Now I'm using that experience to teach young ladies. It has become my wealth. Now I had a bad experience as a housewife. I didn't know how to become a housewife. Now I've turned her into my lesson. It's one of the classes that I teach my women now. They are following me because I can teach them how to become a housewife now. I was a bad wife. I didn't know how to be a good wife. I thought it was now it has been converted to become my positive, to become my product. Now I use that to teach other people to become good wives. So every experience must not be wasted, both bad and good. We must convert them into our wealth, into our riches.
Ну и, конечно, обязательно верьте Слову Божьему. Написано, от малого произойдет 1000, и от самого слабого сильный народ. Поэтому, если получилось у меня, получится у многих и у многих.
The last point is, of course, believe the word of God, that there is nothing that shall be impossible to them that believe. Believe that nothing shall be impossible to them that believe. Believe God, trust in God, and go forward and do what you believe. And if all these things I told you are possible for me, see my story, where I'm coming from and who I became now, there is nothing that will be impossible for you as well. You can do everything, and everything will become possible to you.
И сейчас я бы хотела вам показать некоторые фото из того, что вы уже услышали.
So I told you my story. Now I want to show you some pictures of my life. Maybe you might be interested in seeing some of the things that I already told you about my life. This is me and my daughter.
Это до того, как было.
Yeah. This is my training with pastor that I went through. The books he told us to read that made me to become a new person. All these books. That's me, my education. I graduated from the school, from the training school in the church. This is my team. This is one of the seminars we did. I went through with pastor. This is my class, my club, one of my clubs for the women. This is the program, the teaching. These are the different teachings I do, the different trainings I do. These are the different trainings she spoke about. Life is a master class. How to become a good wife. Yeah, so these are all the trainings she's doing at our clubs. These are all our women club and classes. Yeah, these are all our classes and training for women. Yes, these are different women and different clubs that she's having in different parts of the city and different parts of the states. So these are all the training and the she's doing normally for women, giving them direction. Yes, these are all different kind of trainings and life trainings and coaches. Yeah, these are all. She here with her husband now, a new life. She here as a consultant and as a psychologist writing the newspapers and the magazines. This is her in the church singing and leading praise and worship. This is her here with the choir, the Ukrainian choir. This is her here with the women doing concerts. This is some of the magazines that they have released with the articles. Yeah, these are some of the magazines here. She here with her husband resting and doing all kind of events. It's her with her daughter. Yeah, family. Yep. So let's greet and applaud for Anna. Yes.
Спасибо за ваше терпение, ваше внимание сегодня к этому свидетельству. Благодарю своего пастора Сандея, который сегодня может также стать в вашей жизни особенным, судьбоносным человеком. Вы можете приехать к нему на ретрит. У него все так же есть новые и новые проекты, в которые вы тоже можете активно включаться. И пускай Господь вас благословит обильно. Всех люблю.
So I need to be applauded. She's saying, thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me. Sorry for taking your time. I hope you are blessed by this testimony. And I want to tell you all that the reason for all this is because I met Pastor Sunday and because of what his teachings has done for my life. If you are on this platform and you are listening to Pastor Sunday regularly, those are the kind of results you should expect. You know, your life will never become the same when you listen to this man. And make sure you practice what he teaches you. Make sure you go out and put them into practice. If you have an opportunity to come and be trained under him in HMT or his trainings here, go there anywhere Pastor Sunday is. Make sure you go and join his trainings, and you know you will be totally surprised. Thank you, everybody. All right, here we go. Okay, now that is a miracle there God has done. Okay, thank you so much. Rochelle White says, when you listen to a great man like Pastor Sunday, it's impossible not to be changed. Well, thank God, thank God. Elizabeth says, this is a wonderful testimony. I'm highly blessed. Absolutely. Before we find the purpose of life, we are as good as empty. But when we find our purpose, we'll begin to really live. Yes, that is so true. Monica say, wow, congratulations, Anna. Anastasia say, pew warming is a curse. People who go to church just to warm pews, it's a waste of time. Precious says, wow, you are blessed, Anna. More grace and wisdom to you, Anna. Monica said, amen. Thank you for sharing your testimony. God bless you. Pastor Sunday, thanks for bringing Anna to share her life experience with us. God bless you. Precious says, this is very inspiring. Calvin says, I would like to visit with Pastor Sunday. Okay, no problem. Just write to me. My email is pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. So feel free to write us and let us know when you are coming. Okay. So, yeah, I think we had a wonderful evening. I will let you go. It's been a long day. So let's meet tomorrow morning. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. And of course, tomorrow evening. Next week, we're going to be talking about the role of the man and the importance of the man in the family. The importance of the man in the family. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow morning. I'll be happy to hear you and to be here with you. And, you know, yeah, get ready. It's going to be a new, wonderful week this coming week from tomorrow. So have a wonderful weekend. It's already ended, by the way. Have a wonderful night rest and see you all tomorrow morning. Okay, God bless you all. Bye. Good night.